this is Dominic, wedding DJ.
And this is Serena, wedding planner.
And together we are the Wedding Duo. We are here to talk all things weddings.
Planning a wedding can be stressful, but we are here to help.
So before you say, that's it, we're going to Vegas, don't go to Vegas.
Let's have some fun.
Join us as we answer your wedding questions and help navigate planning one of the biggest days of your life with the Wedding Duo. Hey, everybody. We are back. It's the Wedding Duo, back with our podcast. And we have somebody with us today. I'm very excited.
We do. We are so excited. So we're actually a trio today. We have another DJ on the show today.
I peed all around this studio. There's no room for any other DJ. I'm just kidding.
So we have our friend Jack. And the way we were kind of connected is through TikTok, obviously, right? We love seeing what he's doing on there, but I'll let him introduce himself, kind of what he's about and where you can find more information on him while we get started.
Ready, go. Be awesome.
All right. My name's Jack Kristian. I own Platinum Events Company. I'm based just north of Dallas, Texas. And you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Jack Kristian DJ. And the business is Platinum Events Company, LLC on Instagram.
So I'm sure in Texas you hear this a lot. You sure talk funny. Where are you from?
And usually my response, because I'm way north Texas, is I'm from Oklahoma, and everyone usually laughs.
Yeah.
Is that how they sound there? Okay, I didn't realize. I've been through them parts.
Yeah, you'd be a small town somewhere, right? Where
yeah. So Jack came from across the sea, other side of the pond, and you DJ'd there for a while as a club DJ, and now mostly weddings, right?
Yes, I did. So I originally DJ'd the house and EDM scene in the UK before moving to Sherman, Texas, which is about 60 miles north of Dallas. So imagine moving from city to quite fairly rural. I mean, we have a Walmart and a few Dollar Generals, but it's not huge. So it's mostly small town bars in this area. And I realized really fast that there was not much of a scene for EDM and house music. And after some research, I ended up jumping into the wedding industry and truthfully never looked back. And now I can't see myself ever going back to clubs again. I love DJing weddings.
Well, that's what we're kind of talking about today is the DJ, the DJ entity at your event. People don't appreciate how much havoc a bad DJ can have at your event until you've either seen it firsthand, hopefully at your cousin's wedding or your friend's wedding, not your own. But so we're going to kind of go down the what makes a good DJ, how to hire a DJ, all those things about a DJ, because it's a hard entity. I would say the caterers have a tasting, as does the cake. You can tour a venue. Photographers and videographers have a portfolio. You can look at their work. You can see it. How do you hire a DJ? It's like, hi, I'm your DJ. Great. Love Shack sounds if I played than if Jack plays it. Like, what are you doing differently? And the MC thing is a huge part, which you talked about that as well earlier.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And one of the things that I always say during consultations, and I'm going to upset all the other vendors in the industry, but truthfully, we all probably say the same thing. But arguably, a wedding DJ is going to be the most important vendor post-ceremony that a couple will book, because not only is the wedding DJ going to play the music, obviously, but that is who tends to be publicly in control of your wedding timeline, the day and flow, and honestly, the mood of your event. Because if you have an event that you want to be very, very formal and delivered, what's the word? Classy, you need to find a DJ that can deliver an event that way. If you have an event that you want to be high energy and crazy and up we go, then you need to find a DJ that can match that vibe. It's a huge responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing is, I would say what we do happens real time. Like, if I would say the photographer could be taking terrible, blurry, dark, bad exposed pictures.
Yes.
And you wouldn't know for 6 months until you get your pictures back. If we screw up, boy, that is happening. People are looking like, oh, it's going south. They're all just looking at you wide-eyed. You're like, I need help. I need an adult.
It's true. And the pressure that you guys are under, I'm sure. I mean, you guys have experience, right? You've been doing this for a long time, but it's a lot, right? To be in front of that many eyes on such an important day. You really need to know that the person you hired can handle that, right? Yeah. And I always say, as a planner, my DJ makes or breaks like my team, right? Because if I have a good MC and a good host, it makes my job 1,000 times easier. It's amazing. It's the difference.
Absolutely. And obviously your work, Serena, as a wedding planner, you do all the work behind the scenes, and then the DJ is the one that presents it.
Yes.
Making sure that a DJ is willing to work with a wedding planner, which is also something that I hear quite often. There's always such a bad relationship or such a bad reputation when it comes to wedding DJs, because there's so many DJs out there not willing to work with other vendors, when in truthfully they should be looking at the bigger picture, which is working together to make the day the best it can be for the couple.
Yes.
And it's what you were talking about, working with the plan. Like, there's people don't appreciate that if there's no wedding planner, because some people don't have it, it's not in the budget, right?
Right.
They usually look to us to grab the reins and to run the event. So for me, it's hard when I show up and there is a planner, maybe I've never worked with before. I always have to go up and say, so I don't just sit back there behind my booth with my headphones on. I'm very involved. But if I get in your lane, let me know. Because sometimes I just go and I'm like, stop. I don't want to get a dirty look from the planner, because she's like, hey, you don't take. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's hard. It's hard for me. But there's other times where people talk about a bad DJ. There's been times I've worked with a planner. I'm like, let's go. What are you doing? This is your timeline. We're behind. What? Like, you're just sitting like, come on. And I'm always focused on the couple and the event and the flow and the pace and the energy. And I'm like, we're losing it. Come on, let's get back on. And there's always going to be something that can take you off plan. But the team mentality is just so important to make sure that that event is flowing and that couple is happy and all that goes into it, you know?
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
And even I was going to say one more thing, even the photographer or the videographer, let's say, we got the party going, right? Paint the picture. We're dancing. I did that for you. House music EDM for you. I love it. That was great. Bringing you back into your lane. And then suddenly we're like, okay, we're about 15 minutes out from the bouquet and garter if we're doing that event. And I'm like, where's my photographer and videographer? They could be out back taking pictures of the rings, or the flower girl's doing something cute. And I let them know 15 minutes, bouquet garter. And they go, oh no, wait, I got to change my lens, change my batteries, move my lighting. I got to get set. And I'm like, 20 minutes, bouquet garter? Like, I want them to know. And then I'm going back to the bride. I'm like, do you have a tossed bouquet? Usually I've already found that out. Are we throwing one of the bridesmaids? Are you wearing the garter? If not, find your maid of honor, get up to the bridal suite, put the garter on, because you don't want that groom to be under the dress and be like, oh, he gets wide-eyed. She's like, oh my God, I didn't put on the garter. All these things. And the planner can help. But and sometimes I'm like, you got it. You want me to get it. Like, it's just this team, like, get everybody in position. Because when you pull that trigger, you can't stop and go back and throw the bouquet a second time. No.
You are, and you're absolutely right. And that is some of the things that I think separates an inexperienced DJ from a seasoned wedding DJ, is all the work that goes on behind the scenes that people don't necessarily realize that you're doing to make sure that everything is successful. For example, making sure the bride's wearing her garter, making sure that you have told the best man how he's going to hold a microphone, so that way he doesn't all the time. Now, when they go up and they turn on that microphone and it sounds beautiful, that didn't just happen.
No.
Okay, sometimes it does.
Sometimes they have mic etiquette, yeah.
A lot of the time, it's because you've done the groundwork to explain, this is how you hold a microphone. This is where it's going to pick up the sound. Don't stand X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's all that legwork that people don't realize that you do, but it helps the whole wedding go more smoothly.
Okay.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this. So we have kind of a planning process for our couples, right? What does your process look like? Like, if a couple hires you and you're getting ready for the event, what process do you go through to, like, prepare?
So I truthfully try and keep things as simple or as hands-on or hands-off as the couple wants. So once a contract's signed and a deposit's paid, I send my pre-wedding sheet, which is my planning sheet, where I get all the information that I need from the bride and groom to make their wedding them. So I ask for all the names that I'll be emceeing on the day, from their names, their new last name, parent names, best man, Uncle Roger that's going to say a speech, whoever it be, it's all on the sheet. I then ask them to list all those formality songs from ceremony through till grand exit. I then dive deep into their music taste. So I ask for their absolute must playlist, their ultimate never think ever play these
I
songs.
will punch you in the face if you play. Yes.
And one thing that I always like to add here, these are not only the songs that you just detest and make you cringe. We deal with weddings. So I think that's do not playlist also needs to include the songs that get you emotional, the songs that you may have family or personal relationships with, that come your wedding day, if you were to hear that song, may bring up unwanted emotions that are out of your control. Whether it's a past loved one, family, whatever it be, list that song. Because if you play Celine Dion and I'm making you cry on your wedding day, it better be for the right tears, not the wrong
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it's a good point. And people don't think of that sometimes, right? Maybe they had an ex-boyfriend that your slow dance is that song. I mean, God forbid,
Absolutely.
right? Like, yeah.
And the groom knows that, and he's giving you dirty looks. You're like, wow, that was not an emotion we needed. I had that exact scenario came up one time. Somebody said, hey, we don't want any Louis Armstrong. And I'm like, oh, that's odd. And they go, because our grandma passed away a year ago. She loved it. We played it a lot at her wake or her funeral. And I just, I love my grandma, but they didn't want, and if I'm playing Rat Pack, I'll play Louis Armstrong. I love Louis Armstrong, but I'm like, that's not I hate the wobble. That's a whole different reason. Like you were saying,
Yeah,
why that song or that artist is on the do not playlist.
It's so funny that you use that example, because Louis Armstrong Wonderful World is my do not play song. Because if I hear that at an event, it gets me terribly emotional. Similar reason. But it's used all the time as a mother son. So I've learned to completely watch the wavelengths on my computer and watch the song play while zoning it out completely.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the last thing anyone wants at a wedding is me like.
Well, we joke that this guy,
that never happens to me.
This guy, especially with the father-daughter dance, it really there. I mean, there's a whole past there story, but you know what I think it does in this conversation right now? It shows that you guys care enough to be invested in the couple and what you're doing. Just from an outsider, I'm just looking in at this wedding DJ conversation we're having. I think that means a lot, because I have had DJs that I've worked with, not in our company, but other companies, who were so detached from what was going on in the event that after a very emotional, gut-wrenching speech, they got back on the mic like, basically just, let's hear it for the best man. Just the wrong
He was talking
energy.
about he was the brother to the bride, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told me. And he was talking about their parents had died in a car crash. And it was very emotional. And he was talking about this, getting choked up, and he wasn't paying attention. And then he finished, let's hear for the best man. I'm like, wow, did you miss that moment?
It's that disconnect, right? Like, you're there for a job. It's obvious that there's not that same level of care.
Absolutely. And you also have to learn to adapt in those situations, because if, for example, the speeches are going to be right before you open the dance floor, and you were planning on opening the dance floor with something upbeat and crazy, you may actually decide that after a really heart-wrenching last speech, the party rock anthem may not be the next best move.
Oh my God, you're like the same people.
What? I never know. I don't open with party rock, but I play it all the time.
Yes,
still.
you are.
I got legs still.
But in that scenario, you may just decide, actually, now's a perfect time to open up with a slow dance, and let's ease you into this party.
Yeah, put some distance between that moment. Yeah,
absolutely, because the night has just flip-flopped. So I really try and get as much information. So once I get those must plays, do not plays, I even ask for a list of play if possibles. I want to know the songs that you jam to in your car, the songs that you work out to. And I ask couples, give me as many songs in there as you want, because it gives me the most the best idea on your music taste.
But you're right. I
And-
tell them too, like if you have that asterisk, you and the girls, like whatever the girls, your team was, soccer, sorority,
Right.
Just high school friends. If you have a song like you got to do Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, that's like our go. You're like, I want to know when, because I'm not just going to randomly play that. I'm going to make sure the bride's there, her girls are there. I'll be like, I'm going to announce it. Let's get Try Delts on the dance floor. Let's do it. And then and they're like, oh, this is our song. And they all come crashing out. That's a moment, right? You want to make sure you know. Give me that MC information so I can like really hit it hard.
True.
Absolutely. And I mean, I take my playlists so seriously that I dive deeper. I'm like, I have this huge list of genres, of eras, and I'm like, tell me what you love. And then I take it all, I build huge. So if we look at a 2 or 3 hour dance set, I put together like 10, 12-hour playlist because if someone says 80s, I'm dropping in a ton of 80s songs and then and I'll just build it up, because that way come the wedding, you've got so much to work with that you can steer the night in any direction. But my couples actually get to see those playlists before the wedding. If anything that they see that they hate, they can just remove it. If they've thought of any more favorite songs, let me know. And what I found is it makes them feel more comfortable walking into their wedding knowing the playlist. Now, it's massively oversaturated because I've sent in, 400 songs that I may only get chance to play 150, but they truthfully know what we're working with, and that system's been working really, really well for me.
And to your point earlier, like it really depends on the couple. There are people that are, I know this is hard for you to hear, Jack, and those are people out there in the audience. Some people aren't into music, and I'm always like, what? Ow, my soul, how are you not into music? But they're not into it. That's just not their thing.
Right.
And so that I've had people tell me like, well, we want to two-step a little bit. Her side wants a cumbia or two, and do your thing, DJ. I'm like, okay, I can like run the dance floor with that little information. I mean, obviously we're going to be involved picking your first dance and parent dances and ceremony music, but just in general, dinner music, dance music, do your thing. Here's a couple we want to fit in. Great. But then there's the other extreme. Like you said, the dance party looks like it's going to be on the timeline 2.5 hours. And they sent me 23 hours of music. We can't decide. Here's everything. Just pick through it. And I'm fine with either one, but it's a very different. Every couple is different. Every wedding is different. And some people might be really foodies and they're not really dancers and they want to have this massive 3-course meal and the caterer earned their money that night. But for me, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do my thing, I guess.
Right. Well, and I think it's good for couples to hear this conversation because this, you guys listening out there, couples, this is what sets apart, again, a DJ, a vendor that cares enough to prepare the way you guys do for this best day ever for these couples, right? It's not just send me the music, I'm going to hit play and, make a few announcements. It's I'm invested in creating this soundtrack for your wedding, right? And that's huge.
Well, I think preparing, one thing that you do probably more preparation for me, you've got great hair. I don't have that option. This is like, I lick my fingers and part my eyebrows.
It's coming.
It's not even that hair. It
is going. It's
no, you're hanging on. You're hanging on. For those of you not watching on YouTube, we always try to get people to go to YouTube to watch it sometimes rather than just listen to it. Jack has got a fantastic mustachio. I mean, it is mass. With great facial hair comes great responsibility. So
I am wondering what this is going to look like on a 70-inch TV.
I guarantee you there are people right now that are TikTok people that are like, oh, I know who Jack is. The DJ with the mustache. Yeah, because it's fantastic. It's next level. Hey, so real quick, I want to come back to something we started to talk about earlier. I think the 3 categories of DJs are, just generally, you've got wedding DJ and you've got club DJ. And they're both, there's a skill set involved in both, but they're not necessarily the same. There's some overlap, but they're not the same. And then the third category is you've got a friend with speakers or an uncle with an iPod. And then that's like sometimes our competition. But what I always tell people is if you go to the website, you're going to see the website. First of all, if they have a website, that takes out the friend with the speaker. Yeah. Other than just I'm a DJ at Gmail. Like could be, they could be great. They could be up and coming. We all started somewhere. But if you want somebody who's established and you're like, I'm not trusting my wedding day with I'm a DJ.com. But The club DJ and the wedding DJ, it's like, I would say there's probably, the wedding DJ is going to be more of an MC and going to know more of the ins and outs of the wedding. And your club is going to probably be more of beat mixing, if that's kind of your thing. But like I said, I've been a wedding DJ my whole career. You've been both. Tell us the big difference between the two from your perspective.
So the big difference is definitely music genre. So when you come to a club DJ, and especially the clubs that I DJ'd was one genre fixed, versus wedding, you're playing. So when you think about playing a nightclub, people going to nightclubs, early 20s to maybe mid 30s, you're playing for that one group of people. Maybe they're single, maybe they're not, but that's pretty much it. You're just focusing on that. You DJ a wedding, you're playing for grandma, you're playing for mum, you're playing for sisters, you're playing for grandkids, you're playing for them all. So, which from my standpoint, going from club DJ to wedding DJ has made my work so much more fun, because I'm no longer now just stuck playing this one category of music. I can play all of it. And that's something that I really enjoy, is taking the rock and roll hits and mixing it with some Earth, Wind and Fire, and then mixing it in with some Nelly and getting grandma dropping it low to Flow Rider is
right,
which you could never do in a nightclub. So
that's a massive thing. I would say the demographics is a huge thing. And if you go to a dance hall here in Texas, you're playing country, right? Take that DJ out of the dance hall, and now you have 4 generations and all walks of life. It is a very different animal. What about the MC? Did you do a lot of MCing in the club or not much?
Not a whole lot in the club. So that was definitely something that I had to learn.
Last call, that's the only MC work?
Yeah, security, you know. But yeah, it wasn't really until I came to the States. So the MCing was probably, if you were to ask me 6-7 years ago, MCing I would say was probably my lowest strength. Whereas now, I would actually put it at one of my highest strengths, and it's now something that I really enjoy. But it was definitely a new skill that I had to learn, that if you are a club DJ doing weddings, and it's totally different. If you're a nightclub MC, which is all about hyping, crazy, make noise, it's totally different to introducing somebody's first dance or welcoming up a maid of honor, for example.
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you this. What makes a good wedding MC? What is the difference between, someone that's just maybe starting out, doesn't have a lot of experience, and you guys that have been doing this for years and years? What do you think sets you apart?
I think a good MC needs to be professional, needs to be
sober.
So I actually cannot tell you how many venues I've had compliments from because I didn't drink at a wedding. Right. Complete side note. And I'm like, I'm working. This is what we're working anyway.
Right.
Well, you mentioned professional. That's one thing. Like, it's in our contract with our DJs. I don't know if you're a big drinker, but we're on the clock. We are a vendor. We are not a guest. People sometimes say, hey, get your beer. I mean, I don't drink anyway, but this is the other thing. You'll get a DJ that thinks they're there. Oh, it's an open bar. Or when do I get to eat? Like, I've never not eaten, or very, very few times have I ever not eaten. I'm going to eat, but I'm not going to be first in line, right? No. Like, and I mean, all those things. It's like, my job is not to get drunk and to be first in line in the buffet. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but when you say professional, those things all fall in there. Professional first, fun and exciting second.
Right.
And then, honestly, preparation. When it comes to MCing, preparation is key. You want to make sure that you have I get every single name that I will be saying on the microphone that night to me phonetically spelt. Because with my accent, it could come out anyway. Without...
you've got an excuse though. You can say, it just sounded funny with my accent.
But if it's phonetically spelt, I know who's who and I have it right there in front of me. That way, I mean, let's be honest, the worst mistake an MC can ever make at a wedding is calling, heaven forbid, the couple, but a family member, a best man, anyone the wrong name, because that is one way to lose a room so quickly.
Right.
You call anyone the wrong name and the whole room's going to remind you that that is not their name. So preparation.
Yeah, that Serena will tell you, every one of my notes has the names in big font, like the couple names. And before I pick up that mic, because there's sometimes I have 3 weddings in a weekend. You don't want to be like, Jessica and Dave, congratulations. And everybody looks at you and you're like, oh my God. It's that commercial like,
Yeah.
I can't hear you, Cleveland. And the guy's like, Cleveland was last night. Like, no, it's the same thing. Like, you better be your mind has to be very clear,
right,
and focused on who you're saying, but also like even people's first names. Like I do the same thing. People look over my shoulder. That's not how you spell it. I go, ain't nobody checking my spelling. I got to say it right. And even do you prefer Andrea or is it Andrea? Is it Anna or is it Anna? Like there's little nuances, and I still get Dominique all the time. And I go, well, the Q's silent and not there, but, but it's a thing. People get really sensitive. You say your name wrong, right? I mean, that's great to hear that you say you write it down phonetically, because I do that all the time.
And have it in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Have it there, to where before you pick up that microphone, you're going to double check that the father of the bride is called Jeff. And you're going to tell yourself you're calling Jeff up next because that's Natalie's father.
Right.
Before you get on the mic and say, oh, we're going to welcome up James, because you forgot, you knew it began with a J, but you just didn't look down and check your note. So preparation.
And even I ask him, like, does he prefer Jeff or Jeffrey? Or is it, I mean, when you say, well, when I announce you, like, it's almost like when you're getting, either when your mom's mad at you or when you're getting your graduation or your wedding day, we're going to do your full name, all the syllables. But when I'm just casually talking to him on the floor, like, where's Jeff? Let's get Jeff on the dance floor. But when I'm now saying, here he is, Jeffrey, like, that's when little nuances like that too. Like I say it differently over the course of the night. I sometimes say Mr. and Mrs. in the couple's name. Let me tell you one faux pas that I did. Yeah, this was not long ago, a couple of years ago. It was a bride wedding. And I was just grabbing my notes. I'm like, are we ready to bring in the bride and groom? And I got this groan from the crowd. And then right away, it was 3 weddings in a row. I remember they had a brunch. It was a brunch New Year's Day wedding. Who does that to your guest, let alone your DJ who's 3 events deep? Because if there's ever a night during the year you stay up late,
it's New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Even if you're not a midnight owl, you stayed up late. And then everybody was there. We started at noon. And that's my excuse. But then I looked up and I'm like, I'm sorry. That was muscle memory. It just rolled off it wasn't even the names. It was like, are we ready to bring in the bride and groom? And I look up and I really had bonded with this couple. So I went over to their sweetheart table with my tail between my legs after. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. They were like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm like, then I quickly recovered. Like, I mean, our brides. Oh man. It scarred me, Jack.
It's funny you say that, because honestly, what people do forget is we are human. We are going to make mistakes, and they do happen. But what I do think makes a difference is how you make it right.
Right.
What is the level of the mistake that was made?
Yes.
Yep.
And how can you make it right publicly and also discreetly? Because obviously, depending on what the mistake was, you make sure everyone in the room knows that you owned it, and then later on, you can go over, have a nice discreet word, and just make sure and say, hey, I apologize. It happens. One of my big things, and I had a lunch wedding last weekend. My biggest thing is remembering to say good afternoon.
Because it's not nighttime.
Evening.
Yeah.
We're going to have a great day tonight, and it's so... But we fall into these habits of saying these same phrases that sometimes we just have to unjig to get it right.
Yeah, it's such a good point. And this just really sets you guys apart. Again, just the thought process. Like, I love hearing this because, I'm not an MC. I'm terrified of the microphone, but it's your level of commitment to what your craft, right? And so I think our audience really is going to appreciate hearing these stories.
Most people think of, there's a great joke, and I say it all the time. It was Seinfeld. He said it on stage, and he said they did this survey of people's greatest fears. Number 1 was public speaking. Number 2 was death. And then he said, which means if you're at a funeral, you'd rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy. And I'm like, well, different people may be misunderstood the question, but it's true. People are terrified of public speaking. And that's why you mentioned some mic etiquette with the best man, maid of honor, father of the bride, whoever's going to have the mic for the doing a toast after dinner. I catch them during dinner and I'm like, how you doing? And they're like, when do I do that? And you've talked to these best men. They're just like, when do I do my toast?
Terrified.
I go, do you have notes? Or are you winging it? I'm kind of like, take a breath. It's going to be great. We're going to stand over there. Please orient your body this way because we're taking pictures. Don't have your back to the cameras. Like, come around the side. And they go, okay. And I go, and I was trying to make them laugh. I say, the mic's pretty good. Hold it where it's comfortable, close to your chin, and I'll adjust the volume once you start talking. And then I say, if you want to be gangster, you can hold it sideways and be like, yeah. And if it's like some 60-year-old father of the bride, he chuckles and goes, I don't think I can pull that off. And I go, no, John, you can pull that off. You've got that gangster in you. He goes, I don't think I'm going to do that. But it kind of lightens the mood and it helps them kind of catch their breath and just, they did not, because they need to know. No one has told them, I know I'm giving a toast. When does that happen? Like,
right.
And if the planner, again, I don't know if a planner will do it, but I always do it because I know those persons are out there sweating bullets, waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see them, especially when they're really, really nervous, or one of my questions is, are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you have it written down? And if they're like, no, I'm just going to wing it, or they'll say, I always offer and say, do you need any tips, advice, or are you guys good? And if they say yes, my ultimate advice for a speech, remember to end it.
Oh
because
my gosh.
how many speeches do we see at weddings to where they can have everyone chuckling with the best jokes and the best stories, and then they just stand there like, okay. I'm like, just always remember, when you're finished, raise the glass, toast to the couple. Everyone knows you're finished. Everybody claps. You welcome up the next person, whatever you've been told to do, and the night keeps on going.
That's exactly what I tell them.
Remember to end your speech, because that is the ultimate speech killer, is just not finishing it.
Well, or they just keep rambling, right? Because they don't know to end it. So they just keep with the stories, and you can tell that they're like uncomfortable finishing. They don't know where or when or how. So the biggest thing too is to remember that it's a toast. So you can toast at the end. That's what you're supposed to do, right? Raise the glass.
It's a great way to put a bow on it, because I tell them too, when I ask them, I say, do you have notes or are you winging it? Or I believe you had heavy G. Winging it is what you said. We're going to wing it, which is fun. But it's like, I would say, if you get to the end, you don't know, raise your glass. Just exactly what you just said. Because otherwise they'll be like, and I love you guys and you're great. Remember that time in spring break? I'm like, no.
That's not.
No. You got it. You're great.
No, you were good. You had it. You were right there. Don't go off the rails.
Oh my gosh.
I have a quick side thing here. So I know you said wing it, right? You heavy on the G, but this is kind of an English American thing. When you add like some addition to, like if you're cooking, I'm doing a phonics thing here.
Okay.
What do you call it when you're like, if you add some of the, you're cooking.
Like salt, or what are you referencing?
Go ahead. Say the words. What is it? Say it again.
Herbs.
Right.
Herbs?
The one H that the English people pronounce that we don't is a herb. You guys say herbs. We would say herbs, right?
Yeah.
Every other place, like, hello. Like you drop the H, and we have H's everywhere. You guys take them all out. The one time we don't say the H is when you guys say it. There you go. That's something I've realized in my travels. That's a good one. You can share that one.
Oh my God.
I've never thought about that either. That's crazy.
See? He'll bring up things you've never thought about. I'm telling
Captain
you.
Random. I don't know if you know, Jack.
So let's kind of like seal this up and give us, Jack, your recommendations to couples out there listening for if they're searching in their area, wherever they are, for a DJ MC. What do you recommend they look for, or they ask, or how do they vet someone to find the right person?
Okay. Great questions. And I think there's quite a few. I'd say search for the red flags first.
Always good.
For example, and this isn't, of course, always the case, but it's a good place to start. Website is always key. If they're not presenting their website to gain your business in a way that gains your business, what makes you think they're going to put that effort into your wedding?
Such a good point.
Unfortunately, my big red flag, and all DJs have to start somewhere, but if their straight response is, let's give you a deal, a discount, you get all of this for only $700, to me is a big big red flag, and why would you take that risk? Ultimate thing to do when booking a DJ, interview, because every couple has a different vision for their day, and it's important that whoever they hire is the right fit for them. Because, and I'm not, to put it English, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I can be lots of people's cup of tea. So it's all about finding the right couples that I'm right for them, and they find the right DJ that's right for their wedding.
Right. And that means talking to them, honestly, right? That means like actually getting them on the phone, sitting down with them, asking those questions that are important to them. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
I mean, I would say, like, because the other thing we tell them is, are you going to be the DJ? Because we have 5 people on our team. And if I take the first call, I want them to know right away, it's not going to be me, but I will set up a call with our DJ you're going to be working with if you want to, because you want to see, are we vibing? And the other thing I say is, do they get me, right? Do you get me? Do you get my music taste? Do you understand? And as I'm talking to them, I'm already sizing them up. I'm going to talk about your music. I'm going to get to know your personality. And then if we have the availability, because some people are 18 months out and everybody else is free except me, like, oh my God, you'd be a great match with Susie, because they said something about, we love ABBA. I go, oh my God, well, Susie is a requirement for her. It's a prerequisite. You have to squeeze in at least 1 or 2 ABBA songs. But she also was in musical theater, right? She's a dog lover. If they're like, oh, it's just us and our dogs, I mean, right away, there's some common ground that I know they're going to bond with. If they're really into, like, oh, well, he's a skateboarder, he loves his Green Day, his Blink 182. I'm like, oh my God, you got to meet Jimmy. Jimmy and you guys are kindred spirits already. So it's just like, we're really into country. He's really into music, right? I mean, whatever it is, I'm trying to find some common ground, because right away they're going to click and it's going to be a great event. And that just helps the whole flow, right?
And it does.
Absolutely.
I think for you guys out there listening, you couples out there listening, again, I'm going to reiterate this. There are vendors out there like these guys, like myself, who care this much, who really want to get to know you and want to be part of that A team to give you that best day ever. And those are the things you're looking for, right? To be able to bond. And, when that person shows up on the day of your wedding, you're excited to see them. You can't wait to celebrate with them. Those things all really matter. So Jack, I want you to reiterate to our couples where they can find you.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Jack Kristian DJ, Christian spelled with a K.
Oh.
And then my business is on Instagram at Platinum Events Company LLC.
Awesome. And we will have in our show notes, you guys, the correct spelling. So if you if you didn't catch exactly what he said, it'll all be there. The links will be there. But, this has been a fantastic conversation. I mean, even me, honestly, like sitting back and just watching you guys interact and seeing the level of, professionalism in the room is exciting.
I think we should break our record for the longest podcast. Let's just chat more. This is going to be a 3-hour episode.
I have nothing else.
I got to call it 2. I'm sorry. We can't go that long. But
no, it's fantastic.
But one of the things you kind of alluded to real quick, there's another thing. There's insurance in this world too, right? That's something else you like. Because some of the venues, this happens. It's a week before, and the venue reaches out to the vendors and say, hey, we need your insurance. And the DJ says, oh, I don't have an insurance.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
These are little things you don't want to find out the week before. So it's nuances, of course, but to your point and to what you were talking about, and this is not just DJ specific, does your vendor care? Like, you want that your wedding day, there's a lot of emotions going on. I love it when I show up and I knock on the bride's suite and I go, is everybody decent? And I walk in and they go, the DJ's here. Oh my God, come and give me a hug. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see you and meet you. And I always tell them, I always try to prepare them, because my head is way bigger 3-dimensionally than it was on the screen, right? So it can be shocking. It can really take them back. But you don't want that DJ.
So's my mustache.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
But you don't want the person, and people have had this person in life where they're like, oh God, here comes the DJ. Yes, what? Okay, thank you. That's not the energy you want on your wedding day. And pick a vendor. Some people you interact with more. Your planner, your DJ, your photographer, your videographer, they're like under your feet all night. If your cake person is a jerk, no offense to cake people, but you're not going to see them, or your florist,
Right.
If they do good work, they're not there the whole day. Usually They're in and they're out. Sometimes you don't even see your florist on the day of, but the people that are going to be under your feet, you really want them to care and to be on your team, in your in your bullpen with you.
Absolutely. And these guys care. Yeah. So if you're in the market for a DJ and you're in the Dallas area, I think Jack would be a great option. So yeah.
I want you on my team. Come to San Antonio.
I was going to say, come work with us. But we're going to end tonight's podcast tonight. As we were talking about tonight. It's today.
That's my fault. I'll take blame for that one.
You're rubbing
People
off on
may
me.
be watching in Australia. You don't know. It could be nighttime.
That's true. So Jack, we end our podcast the same way every time, and I'll let you do it.
You can steal this one if you want.
Okay.
It's a very personal day. Just because your cousin paid extra for the Safari chairs, that doesn't mean you have to. Put on the blinders. Don't let somebody talk you into something you don't want to do or talk you out of something you have your heart set on. It's your day. Just do you.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us, Jack.
This has been
so fun. Like probably one of our funnest guest episodes. It's been great.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. So you got to follow him on TikTok too, you guys. He's a lot of fun. We're going to say happy wedding planning to all our couples out there, and we will blow a kiss. Ready?
And next time you're making dinner, don't forget your herbs.
Nah.
Thanks again, Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Hey, so thanks for listening to our podcast. If you found any of this information helpful and you know somebody who may be engaged or is a maid of honor, maybe you could tell them and share it with a friend.
Absolutely. So screenshot this episode, share it on Instagram, on Facebook, and tag the wedding duo. We promise to share the love back. Also, if you are interested in more resources or the show notes, you can go to theweddingduo.co. We have one-on-one virtual sessions, a shop, all sorts of fun stuff. Check it out.